said during the week, Rich Kotite, the offensive coordinator, and Buddy Ryan came up to him and said, look, if there's nothing open, just run with it. Randall said, that means to me that I can go back and play like I used to, like Randall Cunningham. And he said he needs 5 big plays a game out of himself.
And John, you'd know John Robinson since childhood, since boyhood up in Daly City. What do you expect from the Rams today?
Well, I know that John always likes to run. He likes his offense to be in rhythm. He has to have good pass protection. A great matchup. Jackie Slater here, one of the great offensive tackles against Reggie White. A big challenge for 66 Tom Newberry there against Jerome Brown. They have to get that front block. Then if they get it blocked, then Everett has time. He can get in rhythm. The Rams want to do something new to get the Eagles out of rhythm, Pat. They're going to use what they call red ball. No huddle offense, even in the first half.
Absolutely gorgeous day here in Southern California. On the warm side, temperature of 86 degrees, hotter than that down on the field. Southwest wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. Forecast partly sunny. 63% is the humidity figure. The Eagles won the toss. John Carney is the new Ram kicker. Lansford has a problem with his Achilles tendon. Mike Hargrove back deep and in the center for Philadelphia, with Jackson on the far side and Barnett on the near side. Carney to kick it off. Not much. A knuckleball handled by Jackson. Outside the 30, about the 35. Farinez made the tackle, a 21-yard return. Randall Cunningham, 63.6 completion percentage. Up in front of him, this is the offensive line, remade pretty much. Heller, Shad, Alexander, Solt, Singletary at right tackle, and Keith Jackson starting at tight end. Tony and Byers behind Cunningham. Quick and Williams, the wide receiver. Quick is wide left. Tony is the lone setback. And Tony gets the call. Right side, struggles for about 3. Hit by Frank Stams. Give him 4.
Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2.
The Bears beat Minnesota 1916, a 52-yard field goal in the closing seconds by Kevin Butler. And New Orleans beat Phoenix 28-7. So they can relax in New Orleans now. Go back to normal life. 2nd and 6. Cunningham flushed out of the pocket. Gets it to Jackson. Jackson in Ram territory. Anthony Newman on the stop. Here's the Ram defense. They're going to lay back and try to contain Cunningham, which they just didn't do. Reed, Wright, and Smith up front. Wilcher, Stams, Strickland, and Kevin Green, the linebackers. And in the secondary, it's Sutton and Humphrey on the corners, Newsom and Newman, the 2 safeties. 1st and 10 Eagles at the Ram 42. They just picked up 20 yards. Cunningham to Jackson. Quick is left. Alvin Williams to the right. Back to Tony. Good yardage for Tony. Stopped by Strickland, a pickup of 8.
I think this is the way the Eagles wanted to start today, Pat, is once Randall Cunningham goes back and scrambles, I'll guarantee you that is going to loosen the defense up. Then you get them loose, you can do anything to them. I think it was important for Cunningham not only to get an early scramble, but to get an early completion to Keith Jackson.
2nd and 2 for the Eagles at the Ram 34. Tony and Byers, and now Byers moves out to the left. Tony again at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Hit first by Brian Smith and Alvin Wright.
I tell you, it's tough to run at Alvin Wright. You know, you talk about nose tackles and being able to run. Alvin Wright is one of the toughest nose tackles to run against. And when you try and run right at him up the middle, you don't get any movement on him. I think you have to try and move him, get his weight going in one direction and go around him, but you can't go right at him.
3rd down, about 2.5 or 3. shotgun. Caught momentarily by Quick and then jarred loose. Hit by Bobby Humphrey. Kevin Green.
Hey, that's Ron Heller. You know, he always finishes off his blocks against Kevin Green. Those are two guys with very high intensity levels. Watch him here. We'll see him in the bottom of the screen. There's Heller blocking Green beyond the play. Now watch. He throws Cunningham down, so Heller keeps blocking him. He's still going. Then he's going to give him a headbutt. Then Green does a takedown, a reversal, a pin, and the arm to the face. Oh, that's good wrestling. I mean, head to head, butt to butt, that whole thing.
You better be ready to finish things off if you're tackling Kevin Green. Timeout, Rams.
And I think that, you know, those are two kinds of guys. Ron Heller is that type of guy who always blocks downfield, finishes off his blocks, take pride in that type of hustling. And Kevin Green is just all intensity. So when you get those two guys meeting, yeah, they don't know anything about whistles and stopping and stuff. They just want to headbutt each other.
They don't want to know about those things.
No, and they don't want to be the first guy to quit either. You know, I mean, well, you stop first. You know, and I mean, if the two of them, if someone doesn't pull them apart, they could be doing that for another hour and a half out there.
Jeff Feagles is Buddy Ryan's punter with the Eagles. And it looks like we'll have him in action. Mickey Sutton back deep, along with Henry Eller.
Buddy Ryan runs a lot of fake punts, too, and a lot of formation stuff.
Not this time. Feagles has done a heck of a job up until now, but that one, he brought it right to left. It's hard to shank one that way, but that's about what happened. Jim Everett, the Ram quarterback. 64.6 his completion percentages. Up front, one of the best offensive lines. Pankey, Newberry, Smith, Love, Slater. Pete Holohan scheduled to start at tight end. Warner and Buford McGee, the two runners. Mostly Warner and Heller. And Willie Anderson, Flipper, the wide receivers. A lot of speed and a lot of finesse. Anderson wide right, Ellard wide left. McGee in front of Kurt Warner. Everett going right to work. Got his tight end Damone Johnson, but not much there. Seth Joyner wrapped him up. Reggie White, Mike Golick. In place of Pitts, Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons. Fine front four. Joyner, Evans, and Jesse Small, the linebackers. And in the secondary, Jenkins and Allen, the corners. Ben Smith, the rookie, the high draft choice, #1 in fact. And Waters, the safety man. Second down and 9. Rams at their own 25. Two tight ends set up. Everett for Holohan. With the soft hand stopped again by Seth Joyner. Pickup of 7.
You know, the interesting thing about the Eagles going for that punt on 4th down. A week ago, Buddy went for it on 4th down. Randall Cunningham was sacked, didn't make it. He was criticized. He said, hey, you better get used to it. When I get in that situation, I'm going to do it every time. Well, he didn't do it this time. You know, that situation where you're too far for a field goal and you're really too close for a punt, you might as well go for it.
That might be one of the toughest choices a coach has to make.
Yeah, it's, you know, you really don't have a chance of being right unless a guy kicks a coffin corner kick.
Everett fakes. 3rd and 2 he needs. He got Henry Ellard open for the first down Rams. Pickup of 11, stopped by Ben Smith.
Hey, the Rams have such great receivers. They spread it out. Last week they threw to 10 different guys. Watch Henry Ellard. He's going to come on a crossing pattern here. He's right there in the middle. Now, the Rams don't want to run on straight lines. They want to start on a straight line and run off on angles like ins and crosses and those patterns like Henry Ellard just ran.
1st and 10 Rams at their own 43. That's the kind of running that John Robinson would like to see.
Yeah, he's not really satisfied with any of the three tailbacks. He has Kurt Warner, Gaston Green, or Cleveland Gary, who's been hurt, because they really haven't been running tough. You know, when they get to the line, they haven't been going boom, you know, going through it. As he said, you have to run, and when you get to the line, you have to be violent.
He said he felt that while he was at Seattle, Warner had picked up the habit of waiting for something to happen in front of him.
Of course, he didn't have this big Ram offensive line either that'll get movement for you.
Very true. Fumble. Eagles have it. Jerome Brown picked it up. Reggie White hit Everett, and he lost the ball.
And that's what Buddy Ryan was talking about. What this defense needs, they need to get turnovers. And the guy who's going to make things happen is Reggie White. Watch him. He's even doubled. He gets the rip. He gets the spin. Comes off the spin. Gets Everett, the ball, and everything. And then watch this. The ball is going to be lost when Jerome Brown goes down. That football does not have a chance.
Reggie White knocked it loose. Jerome Brown made the recovery.
Just in talking to Reggie White last night, you could feel the determination that he had coming into this game.
Cunningham to Tony. Tony from the Ram 27, stopped by Strickland to pick up a 5. A hot day like this is going to be tough on those two big guys.
I'll tell you, and that's why the Rams are thinking of going to no-huddle offense later in this half. And it's also why the Eagles know you got to get in there and play defense 3 plays and out.
Byers yet to carry. Tony's done all the work out of the backfield. That's Byers. First down, Philadelphia at about the 21, stopped by Newsome. He got 6.
You know, that's the first carry that Byers had in this game, and last week he didn't carry the ball 1 time. He's really a tough guy. I mean, you know, a lot of guys wouldn't even be playing. He has a real bad hip pointer, and last week they just used him as a receiver, but he's one of those guys that even though he's hurt, he wants to still be in there every play.
A very effective pass receiver, of course, as well as an ever-improving runner. First and 10, Philadelphia at the 21-yard line of the Rams.
Those are the 2 guys the Rams feel that they have to stop, the 2 keys, Byers and Jackson.
Quick and Williams, the 2 wide receivers, both split to the left. That's Williams in motion.
Too much time.
Too much time.
Delay of game, offense.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of the new rule change, but that's the first delay of game penalty we've seen, I think.
Yeah, but the Eagles took an awful lot of time. I didn't know what they were doing. I mean, getting guys in and out and calling the play. I'm surprised that they weren't watching the clock and at least, you know, get the ball snapped or even take a timeout.
First and 15 at the 26. That's Mickey Schuler on the move this time as they go with 2 tight ends and Cunningham. Can't find anybody. Finally does. Out of bounds. Intended for Calvin Williams. Too high. He had a lot of time, but you could see the Ram rushers and their controlled effort to contain him.
Well, what they do is they play that loose zone. Now watch down here. Mike Quick was wide open. So as Cunningham was going, you see Quick will go deeper. Now Cunningham, he started to scramble to his right. Quick was on his left. He never did see him, or he would have had a touchdown.
Second and 15. Cunningham back to throw it again. The Rams blitz this time. Screen pass is batted down by Doug Reed. Pete Byers was the intended receiver as the Eagles trying to screen it.
You know, Pat, I think he had Quick deep again. I was just watching because usually when a guy is open deep, like Mike Quick, he'll come back and tell him I was open. Now watch Quick, he's going to run the same pattern. See, once he splits that zone, there's no one there behind him. I think had Randall Cunningham looked at Mike Quick on either of the last 2 plays, he would have had a touchdown.
Eagles out quickly this time, 3rd and 15. No scores yet. Cunningham with plenty of time. Incomplete, he just threw it away. Calvin Williams, the intended receiver.
And the Rams defense did exactly what they wanted to do to Cunningham. Don't give him a big rush because you don't want him to scramble, and give him that loose zone where he has to throw into 8 guys and can't find a guy. The Ram defense is going to try and frustrate Cunningham.
This time the Eagles were close enough to try it. 43 yards for Roger Ruzick with Fiegels holding. It's good. So Buddy Ryan's Eagles lead 3-0 in the first quarter with 6:18 left to play.
See, here's what the Rams are trying to do. We'll see their defense. You see how loose they are? They line up loose. Now watch as we go here. See, they only give them a soft 3-man rush. Now they have 8 guys back here. You see, and they're giving him that soft thing, making him find guys in this thing, like throw into a forest. And then they want to frustrate. See, they don't want to give him a big rush. They give him a real soft rush and a real soft zone. And then when he throws the ball, look, right around here, there's 5 defenders in that area. That's their whole plan. Not rush him, don't let him scramble, and then make him throw into a lot of guys in a zone defense.
So the Eagles lead 3-0 on a 43-yard field goal by Ruzick. Lattenberry and Robert Del Pino back deep for the Rams. Ruzick to kick it off for Philadelphia. That's Del Pino. Very versatile as a receiver coming out of the backfield and also a fine runner. .6:18 left to play in the first quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden. We're at Anaheim Stadium, the home of the Rams. A good high kick in the direction of Lattenberry at the 3. Almost broke out of the pack. Does get it up to the 27, 28-yard line perhaps. 25-yard return. Ever colorful. Jim McMahon.
Last week he didn't have anything to do, so after the Eagles would kick off, McMahon ran out and got the key, the kicking tee, and brought it back.
The slow screen looked good.
So it's first down Rams from their own 28. Eagles leading 3-0.
He was saying that slow screen looked good. I thought quick to the post looked a lot better. Don't tell him, hey, you had something, you missed it.
There was nobody around. Everett to Warner. Jesse Small. The whole look at the beginning of that play like it was going to be a big gain. They shut it down in a hurry.
Well, you're not going to make a living running against the Eagles, especially early. I mean, they're big, strong guys up in front, and you're not going to get a lot of movement on them. You may wear them down and get some running in the second half, but you're not going to get it early.
Second down at 5. Those of you who watched the Redskins hold off Dallas 1915, welcome to Anaheim Stadium in California, where the Eagles lead the Rams 3-0. The Rams just picked up a first down on the completion from Everett to Ellard, 15 yards. We have 5:10 left to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think the Rams dodged a bullet that last time, Pat, when the Eagles got the turnover and got all that life, and then they kept them out of the end zone and had to settle for 3.
They've been there twice and only got 3. This is Warner left side. Cut down right at midfield by Mike Golick. Everett is 4 out of 4.
Of course, you say, what is Mike Golick in there for? Well, Mike Pitts, who played that position, hurt his knee last week, and they thought at first that Pitts would just miss 4 or 5 games. And last night they say that the injury was worse, and Mike Pitts could miss the entire season. Golick is a good backup, and he backed up Pitts and Jerome Brown, but when you lose a player like Pitts, then you lose your depth too, because Golick has to play.
Here's Everett back to throw. The rhythm is quick. It's Ellard, who's also quick. Henry Ellard off to the races. Touchdown, 50 yards.
In their game plan, you see the quick 3-step drop, throw on rhythm, and the receivers not running on straight lines, but taking a straight line, then running on an angle. John Robinson told us yesterday that those are the patterns that have always had the most success against the Eagle, where you run at angles away from it.
Holohan holding. Extra point is by Lansford. And the Rams take the lead 7-3 with 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
Moving, adjusting, then he comes up on a straight line, boom, the angle right there, and that's where Jim Everett hits him.
John Carney set to kick it off for the Rams. High. It's going to be Hargrove. He's got some speed. Outside the 30, about the 33, a 28-yard return by Hargrove, and the Eagles will take over at their own 34-yard line. Summerall with John Madden, the Rams scoring drive, 4 plays, 72 yards they covered quickly. It was Everett to Ellard. As you look at what goes on when we take a timeout or when they break. A little consoling. The free safety on the touchdown play to Ellard. As you look over now at the Rams sideline, free safety just slipped down.
Well, that's what movement will do. You know, I think that's one of the reasons you do motion. You get movement and adjusting, and guys calls and slide and those types of things.
This is Tony for a pickup of 5. A nice play by Mickey Sutton, number 30. They say he's too small, too short, but he gets the job done.
Well, yeah, he just knows how to play football. He knows how to play the game, and here he is. He was, a free agent. He's waived. Someone doesn't want him. He comes back to the Rams, and he's starting. And no matter, there are some guys that, they may not be the right size, the right speed, but they just know how to play the game. And Mickey Sutton's one of those guys.
2nd and 5. The Eagles are going to be called for movement. There's Keith Jackson. The pass is caught by Calvin Williams. Flags everywhere.
Yeah, and that's the one. Keith Jackson did move, but that's a place, the same pattern, the same area where Mike Quick was open the last time the Eagles had the ball.
These are probably going to offset. 46-yard pass complete from Cunningham. Face mask, I think, at the end, offsides at the beginning.
Keith Jackson, of course, you see him grabbing his head there, and he knows that people are going to say, well, if you'd been in training camp and you had been here, that wouldn't have happened. as the Eagles didn't see that the first couple times, that post down the left side.
We
Pat Haggerty.
Incidental face mask on the defense, number 88. The illegal motion. Offense will play the down over.
Yeah, the thing that starts it right here is the motion. You'll see the ball hasn't been snapped yet, and watch Keith Jackson. He's going to be up there, and he's going to move right there. You see, he moved right there, so that stopped it now. And then, of course, the opening is down there on the post.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 39. There's the face mask. Accidental, they said. Here's Cunningham. Gets it outside to Fire. He got the first down and more. Up to about the 48. Stopped by Wilcher after a pickup of 7.
Hey, as you said, Pat, it says it's 86 degrees here, but down on the field, you know, it's probably 100. And when you see the guys and the fans and the waters and the electrolytes and those types of things coming out, you know that it's a warm day. Tom Newberry said last week he lost 12 pounds during the game down in Tampa.
Took him 2 days to get it back. Cunningham back to throw with time. Chased out of the pocket by Green. Goes for the long bomb and knocked down. It was Calvin Williams. He got the hand on it. Anthony Newman back there with him.
That's one thing the Rams are looking out for, because they were talking about one thing they don't want Cunningham to do is run around, scramble around, then they call it launching a rocket. And that's exactly what Cunningham did that. He started to run, started to scramble, then he launched a rocket. And the defenders were back there for the rocket launch.
Baseball, of course, winding down. Cunningham is 2 out of 7. Batted away by Brian Smith. They tried to set up a screen to Tony.
That was the same place, and the same thing happened. They've tried 2 of those screens to the right, and they've been knocked down both times. I think I would, again, try and get up the field, but you see what happens here. He even had to scramble a little to get the screen off. But a screen and a draw are good plays when you get a real strong pass rush. The Rams are not giving Cunningham a real strong pass rush. They don't need a screen to draw.
3rd and 10. Cunningham with time gets quick. And he's going to be very close to a first down. Stopped by Newman.
I think that's what they need to do, is get the ball to Mike Quick, their wide receivers, you know, just spread it around and then keep that defense loose.
Looks like it's about a yard shy of a first down, maybe not quite that much. Close enough to measure.
Well, you know Buddy's going to go for it if it's short. He already punted one of these things. He's not going to do it twice.
They got it.
He doesn't have to come up with that decision. That was a little sigh of relief in that clap by Buddy Ryan. He's been under a little heat up there, too, in Philadelphia. You know, the thing's starting off 0-2, and he's in the 5th year of a 5-year contract.
A minute and a half left to play in the first quarter. The Rams leading 7-3. The Eagles have had the ball most of the time. But the Rams have the lead. First down quick on the move. It's Tony. To about the 40. Wilcher and Wright, the 2 Ram tacklers. 2-yard pickup. Bring up 2nd and 8 for the Eagles at the Ram 40. First meeting between these two since the Rams knocked the Eagles out of the playoffs last year in the wild card game. They haven't forgotten. Tony again. 6 yards. Bobby Humphrey made the stop.
You know, Keith Byers had an effective block. Watch what happens. But he starts to come in here and he falls down. He slips just before he gets to his block. So it was kind of a bluff. It drew the outside backer. He looked at Byers. Byers got up and then turned out. That was an effective type of block. When you go at a guy and you don't block him, that's called a bluff block. And that's what Byers was doing. He was bluffing the linebacker and blocking the safety.
And fell down in the process.
Well, that's a good bluff. I mean, that's the way you bluff a block. Some guys made a living of bluffing blocks.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Rams 7, the Eagles 3. Well, the blackout was lifted because this is a sellout, but I don't think anybody counted on that happening. Nobody's sitting close by, I know that.
I wonder what they're going to do with, like if all those bees, you wonder where they came from and how long you let them hang out there. I don't know that you're going to get rid of those things.
As long as they want to hang out there.
Offside.
Flag on the play.
Heard Pat Haggerty, the referee, he pointed at someone and said offsides. He caught him right off the bat, so that snap won't count.
The Eagles had 4 first downs in the first quarter. The Rams had 3.
Encroachment, defense, number 99.
That's Alvin Wright. He's the nose tackle. Now you wonder how, here he is right here, right on the ball. And look, he got that hand there. I think he was trying to slap the ball. He was trying to slap the ball with his right hand. And then he was just helmet to helmet with the center, David Alexander. That's tough when a guy gets helmet to helmet with you and he weighs 300 pounds and he got one hand there ready to slap the ball when you snap it. That makes you a little nervous.
Gives the Eagles 1st and 10 at the Rams 29. Cunningham again flushed out of the pocket. Going deep in the end zone and batted down, intended for quick. Anthony Newman got the hand on it.
I'll tell you one thing, you don't want to get a guy like Alvin Wright angry. Watch what happens after he gets called for offside. That is a bull rush. You just take the guard salt and you just run right over him. I mean, there's no finesse on that rush.
No.
You put the guy, you say, you call me offsides, I'll show you offside. Boom! Salt, the first thing it hit was the back of his head.
2nd and 10 at the 29 now. Tony is the lone setback. Fred Barnett, wide receiver. For Byers. Taken down by Humphrey. Pickup of 6.
Yeah, the Eagles are getting some things going here, and I think it's just a matter of knitting them together, and keeping them going so they can get some first downs and eventually get into the end zone.
3rd and 4.
I don't know what he's smiling about. The team's down. Then the team's down in the 25-yard line. They're going in.
3rd and 4. Cunningham out of the spread. Quick. This is Barnett. Not quick. The pass was quick.
Pass was quick, and it was a first down, and Buddy Ryan calls him Arkansas. Arkansas Fred Barnett. He really likes those rookie wide receivers, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Marvin Hargrove. He must like them. He has 3 of them. He said he thinks that they're really going to be big contributors to this team.
They're all burners, he says. And when you get Jackson and Byers involved as well as them. Tony. And he hammers down to about the 12-yard line before Frank Stams makes the stop. 5-yard gain, however.
Hey, one thing, while Jackson was out, you see Jackson coming in now. Mickey Schuler, the old tight end from the Jets, who played for the Jets for like 12 or 13 years, really did a good job of filling in. And now I think that the Eagles are going to use a lot of two tight ends, using both Shure and Jackson in there quite a bit.
Tony is the lone deep setback. Byers is on the move. Cunningham overthrew Calvin Williams in the corner of the end zone. Bobby Humphrey.
Yeah, this is an interesting game, the way the Rams are playing them down here, where they don't rush, they just cover, and they don't give Cunningham anything to do. You say, well, why doesn't he run it? Because you got 11 guys waiting for the run. Why doesn't he pass it to an open guy? Because there's pass patterns running into 8 defenders. So it's a very difficult thing.
Well, it's what more and more people are doing to this Eagle offense with Cunningham.
Yeah, of course, the Rams did it in the playoffs. The Giants play him that way, too.
Fake handoff to Tony. And down goes Cunningham. The ball is loose. They're going to say he was in the grasp. Heller came up with the ball at any rate.
But again, he has time. He's going to do a play fake out of the shotgun. He's looking to the right, couldn't find anything, has to go back to the left. And when he goes back to the left, then he doesn't see that backside rush. It knocks the ball out.
Fairnays. Number 51 was the man who got Cunningham. Ruzek to attempt a 36-yard field goal now with Fiegels holding. No good. Wide left. You just can't get down there that many times and come away with only 3. It'll haunt you. 7-3 Rams.
First, he was looking to this side, but watch what happens. He comes here, he fakes the draw. Now watch, if we stop it here, we see there's a defender here waiting for this, a defender here, so that stops him on this side. So now he turns to look to the other side. Now he's ready to throw to the other side, but see what this looks like, and he couldn't have done anything about that because he gets hit right there.
Ram first down at their own 20. They lead 7-3. This is Warner. And no place to go. Andre Waters, the first man up. The Eagles kept the ball 14 plays and 6 minutes and 56 seconds and come away with nothing. And that'll take its toll.
Well, you know, the only plus thing about that, Pat, is while they kept the ball that long, or that many plays, even though they got nothing, it let their defense rest. And if the Eagles are going to win this game, they're going to have to get some turnovers from their defense.
Everett back to throw it. Flipper Anderson. Cut down at about the 48-yard line. A pickup of 25.
And they're running those same type of patterns. Pat, all those posts and poles and those things where you run at angles. They don't want to run at straight lines. You start off the straight. Now watch Flipper Anderson run at the angle. You see coming into this angle, they cover well when you go on straight lines. When you start angling away from them is when you get the open spots.
It was a heck of a throw by Everett as well. First and 10 Rams. At their own 45, leading 7-3. Everett back to throw again. Looked in the direction of Damone Johnson. Covered effectively by Byron Evans.
Here's that no-huddle offense, Pat, we were talking about. We knew the Rams were going to do in the first half. They call this red ball. They're doing it to throw the rhythm of the Eagle defense off, plus tire them out.
That was the first incomplete pass for Everett. 6 out of 7. He'll be 6 out of 8 now.
See, Jerome Brown was right on top of him. Buddy Ryan says, you know, what do you do against Everett? You know, I mean, do you try and throw the rhythm off the thing? He said, no, you just try and hit him in the mouth.
A couple of times.
A couple of times. And they haven't gotten close to his mouth yet. be pretty hot on the sideline for the coaching.
But he's on a diet. Lost 25 pounds. Looks good. Everett. Ellard slipped down.
That's a problem with that rhythm passing. You're going to throw it before the guy's open, and if he slips, then you tend to have plays like that. That's the danger in it. When you hit the guy on the run and he runs through like Ellard did on the touchdown, that's the beauty of it.
English. Back to kick for the Rams. And a fine punt. They signal fair catch. The ball goes into and out of the end zone. It's 10:24 left to play in the first half here in Anaheim, and it's 7-3. The Rams lead. Back at Anaheim Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Eagle ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20.
See Calvin Williams there, Pat. I think that's what happens when you run into a warning track of a baseball field.
This is Tony with room. Breaks one tackle. Anthony Newman finally wrestled him down. That looks like a baseball score. So does that, but neither are.
You know, Anthony Tony is a big guy. I mean, you don't realize it. He's like 230 pounds, and you know, he has that speed, and when he gets going, he knows how to finish off runs, and guys just, a big strong guys just bounce off as they go to tackle.
9 carries for 53 yards for Tony. Cunningham back to throw it. All kinds of time, and he has Tony. Finally found somebody loose.
That is the thing that you talk about when you talk about patience of a quarterback against a zone defense. Look, he looks left, he looks middle, he looks right, he comes back to the middle and finally finds Tony in there. But you have to have patience if you're getting blocking like this. You see the pass protection? The Rams aren't trying to get a big pass rush anyway. Just get your hands up. Great pass protection. They kept them all on the line. They didn't know what to do. And Cunningham just waited and waited and waited until Tony was open.
Mike Quick. First down, Philadelphia. Frank Stams made the stop after a pickup of 12.
And there's a lot of people thought Mike Quick would never play football again. 2 bad knees, and you know, even Buddy Ryan says that, you know, we really didn't look forward to having because we didn't want to be disappointed, but he has been a great receiver in this league, and it's nice to see him back for another year because he's a quality player and a quality guy.
A lot of personal dedication on his part, because as you say, they didn't expect him back. Sherman and Byers now the 2 runners. Heath Sherman at the line of scrimmage.
Ball carried by.
You know, the Eagles are trying to run delay or draw type stuff, and the Rams aren't rushing. It doesn't work. The draw doesn't work, the delay runs don't work, and the screens don't work. That's Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator of this Ram team, and he just wants to keep everything contained.
2nd and 9 from the Ram 15 for the Eagles. The Rams leading 7-3. Quick. Touchdown. From 15 yards out. Over Mickey Sutton.
That's the matchup they were looking for. You know, they had it a couple times on the left side. Quick was wide open deep. They didn't see him. This time they put him on the right side. There is an experienced receiver. That's what happens when you have a short corner. Sutton's only 5'8". Mike Quick went not only up for the ball, but he went up over Sutton to catch the ball.
Ruzek for the extra point. Eagles holding. And the Eagles recapture the lead. with 7.5 minutes left to play in the first half. It's 10-7 Philadelphia. We expected the Rams playing it soft on defense.
Well, they are, and I think they were trying to frustrate Cunningham, but now that he is patient, he's taken his time, and I think he's found that if he takes his time and keeps his patience, that he can find some things going there.
Do you think the Rams can afford to stay in this kind of defense?
No, I don't think so. I think that they have to start mixing them up. I think what they're doing is, in doing it, I think they're giving Cunningham way too much confidence, because Cunningham and the rest of the Eagle offense now know that they can move the ball against the Rams the way they're playing defense.
80 yards they went to recapture the lead. Ruzek will kick it off. Lattenberry and Robert Del Pino back deep for the Rams. Del Pino's 39, Berry is 42. It's going to be Berry. Now it's Del Pino. Dragged down outside the 40 by William Frizzell. But a good return. The Rams will take over at their own 42. 33 yards on the return by Del Pino. 10-7. The Eagles lead the Rams with 7:20 left to play in the first half. The Eagles have dominated pretty much in terms of the clock. They've had the ball 15 minutes 16 seconds. The scoring summary: Ruzek hit a 37-yard field goal to put Philadelphia ahead 3-0. Then it was 50 yards Everett to Ellard to put the Rams ahead. And now Quick to Cunningham. And it's the Eagles 10, the Rams 7. Hot on the sidelines at Anaheim. Rams set to go from their own 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Gaston Green and Buford McGee now are the running back. Gaston Green pushed to a first down. Seth Joyner made the stop after a pickup of 10.
I know that's the thing that John Robinson has been looking for, not someone to get the bees out of there. In fact, he might be looking for someone to do that too. But how do you get this job? I mean, this guy was called in special, I bet, Pat, because he knows what he's doing.
Well,
I mean, why isn't he jumping and stuff?
If he knows what he's doing, why is he that close?
Yeah,
He sprayed something on himself before.
Yeah, but that's why he knows what he's doing, because a normal person wouldn't get there with a sack and start putting it over a whole bunch of people.
I don't think so. 2nd and about a half yard. Everett goes to work quickly and has the pass incomplete for Buford McGee. Threw it behind him.
Yeah, because no one would sit in that area and see. I mean, this guy has to have something on him that, look, when the bees come around him, not only does he keep the sack there, look, he just dumped a load of bees in there, but he doesn't even flinch. And you see the other thing you see on the right there, he got a belt. Any guy that carries something like that around it is a special. That's his job. See that? When you carry one of those, then that's your job.
He's got a bag of bees and he's going to get some more now.
Oh, yeah, he's spraying. See, that's the trick. I know that guy had tricks. If you have that belt and bag and spray stuff, you know what you're doing.
Here's Everett. Ooh. Derek Faison was open. A flag on the play on the far side of the field.
And it came late. It's going to be against Bobby Humphrey. I tell you, that flag didn't come out right away, and then Everett started running down towards the official, and they threw the flag late. Everett saw it all the way because he was trying to throw it to Faison.
Faison's a big, tall guy. As John Robinson said, he's sort of the R.C. Owens type. And you remember him?
Disregard the flag. The ball was not catchable.
I think it was Wes Hopkins who bumped him. You'll see Faison is number 89. Now, of course, after he goes 5 yards, you can't bump him. I mean, they probably should have called that right there anyway, because you can't bump him. Now, you say he couldn't have caught it, but I say if the guy didn't bump bump him.
He
How
could
do you
have caught
know-
it.
Yeah, how do you know that? So I think they have a complaint about that. The Rams do. I think Everett was right in complaining.
English back to front. High hanger this time. Hargrove was back deep for the Eagles. Ball goes out of bounds at about the 20. More flags on the play.
Marker on the field.
Against the Rams.
Ineligible man downfield, number 42.
I think they'll look where they're going to get the ball, and the Eagles probably turn it
Ineligible
down.
man downfield, number 42, decline.
John Robinson really upset. I think about the previous play, not this one.
Well, he should have been upset about the previous play. The last one doesn't make any difference because the Eagles turned it down. They're going to take the ball on the 20 anyway. I think he doesn't know yet that Faison was really hit after 5 yards and knocked off that pattern. It could have been a touchdown.
6:18 left to play in the first half. 10-7. Philadelphia leads. And Madden, you know, Reggie White was telling us yesterday that when their equipment man ordered the Eagles New Jerseys this year, they told him to make them a little bit bigger in the middle. Tony, left side, not much doing there. Wilcher.
Well, you know what he wanted? He said they want the jerseys tight, those defensive linemen, so that the offensive linemen can't hold you. And so in making them tighter, Reggie said they were making our stomachs look too big. You see Jerome Brown there. So what they want them is tight up on the shoulder, and then they want them looser down below. You see what they want them is tight up in here and then loose down in there. And so that's how they had them made, so you have a little room for your combinations hanging over.
Well, I don't think the jerseys really have any choice. Second down, Cunningham with a man in his face. Mike Quick, the intended receiver. Vince Newsom and Mickey Sutton back.
I think they found something they want to do here is throw to Mike Quick on a deep one and let him jump ball against Mickey Sutton. The only thing is they got some help over there for Sutton on that one. The last time they did it, of course, Quick got the touchdown and Mickey Sutton was one-on-one.
So it brings up 3rd and 9. The Eagles at their own 21, leading 10-7. Cunningham's pass is picked off by Anthony Newman. He'll be at the Eagle 35, intended for Keith Jackson.
I think that's the thing. He was trying to force it in there to Keith Jackson. And again, this isn't part of the patience that he'd shown on the last drive. Watch him, he's starting in here. He picks up Jackson there. And again, that zone defense is just reacting and collapsing on the ball.
So the Rams take over with 5:24 left first half. It's the Eagles 10, the Rams 7. The Rams in good shape, 1st and 10 on the Eagle 35. Harris has replaced Small in the Eagle defense. There's Holohan in motion. Diving catch by Damone Johnson.
Yeah, here's the
And a gain of
interception.
6.
Pat, and if you watch, here's Keith Jackson. Now what they're going to do is they're going to rotate out here to the left to help Mickey Sutton on this side. And you'll see Jackson comes out and he starts to stumble. But you see the rotation? They got the 3 guys out here. Jackson stumbles, falls down, and when Cunningham comes back to him, he's just getting upright again.
2nd and 5. At the Eagle 30. It's Warner to about the 32, stopped by Byron Evans. There's your fan club.
Yeah, no, I don't know. The guy started yelling at me when I came into the stadium today about, because I said, last year I said somewhere, I said, what do you do? You wake up on a Sunday morning and say, what are you going to wear the game? Oh, I think I'll stick a melon on my head. Yeah, how do you decide to do something like that? Well, they got all upset with me. I still say, how can you decide to wear a melon on your head?
How can you let it upset you?
Right.
Warner, first down Rams at about the 28. A gain of 4. Andre Waters made the stop.
I know Ernie Zampese is the offensive coordinator here, but the plan we're seeing right now, Pat, is John Robinson's, where he's saying, look, enough of this passing every down. Let's wear this defense down. Let's start running at it. And I know that John believes, there's Ernie Zampese up there in the far right, but John Robinson believes that you got to run the ball and wear a defense down.
Well, he's got 3 tailbacks and a couple of fullbacks. Flag on the play. Holohan made the catch at about the 7, but a penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage.
You see Jerome Brown, he's given the holding signal. So I would say it's holding against the Rams, and probably holding Jerome Brown, probably by Tom Newberry. That was one of the things John Robinson would say was going to be a real challenge for the Rams, was Newberry on Jerome Brown.
Holding.
Haggerty.
Number 56, offense. Still first down.
Doug Smith called.
That's the center right there, and you'll see him. Again, they're going to double team. See, Newberry's waiting for him. He doesn't come that way. He starts back. Now watch right there in the middle. When he starts back to the inside, right there, Doug Smith grabbed the jersey. Jerome Brown started to the outside. Then when he cut back in, Smith couldn't handle it.
Those kind of things can kill you. Everett straight back. Pass is caught by Ellard. He's inside the 15 to about the 12. A gain of 22 and a Ram first down.
Hey, that is great quarterbacking there. When you can come back off of that 10-yard penalty, and instead of being down, get up and have a pass pattern like this, Ellard just runs up, keeps the corner, Isaiah Jenkins going like he's going on and up, stops, comes back to the sideline, turns, and gets the first down. Watch Jackie Slater out there on Reggie White. Gives him a bump, just rides him to the outside, and knocks him down. That's great pass protection.
First down at the 11. Everett to Warner. Got a yard. Clyde Simmons and Ben Smith made the stop.
You know, Jackie Slater's been in this league for 15 years, and most guys, that time you start to slip. I don't think the guy has ever slipped in any year.
I can't remember it. He's playing with a bad foot also. Back in Anaheim, second down for the Rams at the Eagle 10. Philadelphia leading 10-7. Keith Jackson has only had 2 days of practice, really, after ending his holdout. Second down at the 10. They can make a first down without scoring. Buford McGee out of the backfield from Everett. Gives the Rams the lead.
The other guy in the backfield was the tight end, 86, Jamon Johnson, staying in for maximum pass protection. He got the pass protection. McGee was on the left. And again, another one of those running, slanting patterns the Rams hit him with.
Lansford for the extra point. So the Rams take a 14-10 lead. 1:57 left to play in the first half. 6 plays. They went 35 yards after the interception. Pittsburgh's magic number is now down to 8. The Mets leading the Cubs in the 9th. Montreal and the Phillies tied in 12. Cincinnati 5-0 over San Diego in the 5th. Giants over the Dodgers 4-0 in the 4th. The Yankees beat Boston. They're having all kinds of problems. Toronto beat Cleveland 5-4. Detroit 6-0 over the Oakland A's, trying to clinch the American League West. Baseball winding down to an end.
There's a guy we talked about, Jackie Slater, 15 years in the league, and you know, we were talking to him yesterday, and he just came back because he had a birthday party for his 5-year-old, 50th birthday, and he went to the birthday party yesterday morning as a Tiger. He came into practice. He was wiping the Tiger stuff off yesterday, and then of course today, and Reggie White, he has a handful, but he's doing a heck of a job against him.
Tiger yesterday, a warm Ram today. Kenny Jackson outside the 30, about the 32-yard line. Stopped by Greg Clark.
The Eagles just signed Kenny Jackson the other day. They were Randall Cunningham came up. Jackson was on the sideline last week of the Eagle game, and Cunningham made a statement in the papers. You know, it's good to have Kenny Jackson around, and we need a guy like him for leadership in the clubhouse and all that stuff. And Randall says the next thing you knew, the Eagles signed him.
1:51 left to play first half. Cunningham out of the spread formation. Up the middle quickly to Tony. Cut down by Anthony Newman after a pickup of 8 yards.
Now the Eagles are going with their no huddle. They have plenty of time, 1:35 seconds, and they have 3 timeouts.
Cunningham quickly again. Up the middle. Again, it's Tony. He's had a busy first half. First down, Philadelphia.
First down.
This is going to kill Keith Jackson.
Oh, boy.
This no huddle stuff.
Cunningham gets out of the grasp of Kevin Green, and he's going to take off with it. Onto the dirt of the infield inside the Ram 30. Stopped by Humphrey after a scramble of 27 yards.
You know, this is the first time during the game that Randall Cunningham has run. And again, this is, if you give him an alley, if we can stop it right there, and you see what happens, once he dodges that guy, now he can look down from that point on, he can see 20 yards. He knows that he's not only going to get a first down, but he's going to get a big play out of it. I tell you, he made that one happen himself at the beginning by dodging, getting underneath a tackler, and then he does well by ending the run. Watch him here. The first place that he makes his run is right here when he goes underneath. And then he gets rid of that. Now, as he comes out of this, look what he sees here. Now he can see all the way. The first defender is here. Randall Cunningham is here. So he knows that he's not only going to get a first down, but a big chunk of yardage. And then covered up at the end's pretty good, too.
And didn't get hurt. Took a pretty good shot. 1st and 10. There's the Ram 28. And again, the handoff is to Tony. And Tony has room and slams down the inside the 15-yard line. A pickup of 14 by Tony.
Tony's running like a man possessed. You see him finish off that thing with that right forearm?
They don't take a timeout. No huddle. Cunningham asked for it quickly. A touchdown to Calvin Williams from 14 yards away. And again, there's a scramble and some extracurricular activity. Kevin Green again is involved. Tony with a fine looking left hook.
You know, and he better watch out. When they catch that left hook, they'll throw you out of the game. That will not affect the play. The play is going to be a touchdown. Cunningham again looked like a master on this thing. finding Calvin Williams again on that post in there. That's his second touchdown thrown against Mickey Sutton out on that side. First one Mike Quick caught over him. That time Calvin Williams caught it inside of him.
Bruzek for the extra point to put the Eagles back in front by 3. And does 5 plays, 68 yards. Markers on the play.
You know, it's interesting, on the fight there were no markers though, Pat. I think they stopped doing that thing both sides, no effect. They let him just fight.
Tripping, number 95, offense.
Tripping by Al Harris.
Well, you know, that'll be the wing. That always happens to a wing on an extra point team, the outside guy, because he has to block 2.
Tripping, number 95, retry.
Usually he blocks the inside guy with his shoulder and then blocks the outside guy with his foot. I bet that's what Al Harris did. See, that's that wing position. See, he has a guy that comes inside him and outside him.
16-14, a little bit more difficult for the extra point from here. But no problem. Bruzek hits the extra point twice. And the Eagles retake their 17-14 lead, their 3-point lead, I should say, with 34 seconds left to play in the first half. San Francisco has gone ahead of Atlanta. Raiders and Pittsburgh in a bitter rivalry. 3-3. That's the final. The Bears unbeaten. Kansas City over Green Bay. The Giants remain unbeaten. And Washington had a tough time, but beat Dallas at RFK.
You know, an interesting thing as we look at these scores coming in, you know, Cincinnati probably has the best talent in the AFC, but John Robinson was saying yesterday that at the end of the year, someone's going to be a 9 and a 10, but right now there's a lot of 3s and 4s, and he said the Rams are a 3 or 4. He thinks the 49ers are a 3 or 4. The Bears are a 3 and a 4, and of course the Giants right now 3 and 0. You know, they're 3 and 4. And he said, then, you know, someone's going to come up and be the 8s and 9s and 10s at the end of the year. And I kind of believe in that. You can't make too much over what happens just the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, everybody has a down spot, whether it be early, middle, or late. Don't forget, coming up to half, Greg and Terry with all the scores, the highlights, and the latest information around the NFL. Lattenberry. 16-yard return. 26 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts for both teams.
Yeah, and these guys are pretty good at that. I mean, you know, we just saw the Eagles do their 2-minute drill. And now the Rams are going to come in and put their 2-minute drill on. And it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but when you take the 2 timeouts, Ernie Zampese down in the sideline calling the plays now, the Rams can hit you quickly and get in a scoring position with just a couple of completed passes.
Well, they have all their speed to the right side. Faison, Ellard, and Anderson. Everett with time. Out of bounds. Caught by Faison, but out of bounds. He started out with 6 consecutive completions, but since then has cooled off.
Yeah, but he still has those 2 touchdown passes, and if he keeps hitting those touchdown strikes, and I think what the Rams are counting on is this Eagle defense to tire out in the second half.
Well, it's a good day for getting tired out. It's hot down on the field. Everett. Pass complete to Faison, knocked backwards. 10 seconds remain first half.
Yeah, the Eagles are really playing a soft prevent defense now, letting them have those short things, then trying to make the tackle. Lansford, you know, has a bad foot, and it's his kicking foot. He has an Achilles injury on his right foot. John Robinson says he thinks the ball has to be inside the 25-yard line for him to go for a field goal today. That's why they brought in a new kicker, John Carney. They signed him to do the kicking off because Lansford couldn't do that. They had their punter, Keith English, trying it last week, and I guess that got to be a big joke.
Well, he had on the job training, I guess.
I believe a punter had never kicked off in his life.
Well, they found a shoe somewhere they said Lou Groza wore. Everett gets away from the rush and fires deep. Faison was the intended receiver, and it's incomplete.
Now that's what Jim Everett has to hope for. He has to go for those now because he doesn't have time to get a couple completed passes, and the only thing that you have now is either throw this one in the end zone or remember that the half can't end on a defensive penalty. So of course the Rams, if they have anything to hope for, it's one of those tip balls that go in the end zone or a penalty on the Eagles.
It's a timeout, Rams. So they have one left. No, they're out of timeouts. Beg your pardon.
Well, I think with 2 seconds left, you don't care about timeouts anyway.
No,
I think
probably not.
You're just going to take the ball and heave it down the field and hope for some miracle or, again, as I said, a defensive penalty.
Philadelphia 17, the Rams 14. As we wind down the first half at Anaheim Stadium. 1st and 10 Rams. 2nd and 10 make it at the 43. Again, the alley-oop. And nobody can come down with it. Wes Hopkins made the leap. It was intended again for Faison.
To make a tackle. They have shut him out in the first half, and I think they have to get him. The Rams have to get him going on defense.
Can they continue in this soft defense?
I don't know. I would think they have to give him some mixture because Cunningham feels pretty good about it. You know, he started out, I thought he was a little confused. Then as the second quarter came on, he started getting more and more confident and found out that he can get his wide receivers deep.
Well, we'll have a look at what's going to happen here in the second half as we're just about ready to kick it off. Jim Everett started off with the hot hand and then cooled down. He started out 5 out of 5, and then things changed. Cunningham went the other way. A very warm day in Anaheim. Lattenberry will handle it at about the 20 for the Rams. Try to get around the corner. It does almost. Knocked out of bounds.
You know, I think a lot of what the Rams are going to do on offense is based on trying to get some running game going. I mean, only 28 yards in the first half. The problem with that is you haven't kept their defense on the field long enough, and I think one of their plans was to keep that Eagle defense on the field, have some long drives, and tire them out, especially that front four.
Well, they're going to start with Gaston Green as their tailback here in the second half. He's behind Everett. 1st and 10 Rams at their own 36-yard line. Going right to the air. Right to Henry Ellard. Incomplete.
Yeah, if we look, we see what Everett did in the first half. He really mixes the ball around. He was 3 for 6 under 10 yards, 6 for 8, 10 to 20 yards. That's where he did most of his work, between 10 and 20 yards, 1 for 2, 21 to 30, and so on. But Everett, last week he threw to 10 different guys. So he not only mixes it up to receivers, but they also mix it up depth-wise.
Ellard wide left this time. Holohan in motion. That's Gaston Green. Stopped by Byron Evans after a pickup of maybe 4. Flag on the play. Gonna be holding.
Holding number 66. Offense. Still second down.
Newberry. Confronted by big number 99 Jerome Brown.
You know, anytime you play against a good defensive lineman, you know, I mean, they'll bring sacks and they'll bring hurries and they'll bring hits at defensive line. They will also bring offside or illegal motion penalties against the guy that has to block.
Second down now. Everett back to throw. To Ellard. Incomplete. He was hit by Andre Waters just as the ball arrived. Eric Allen was also there.
They are doubling Henry Ellard now. You know, Ellard had that touchdown in the first half, and wherever Ellard goes, the Eagles are going to have a couple of guys on him. And, you know, that's one of Buddy Ryan's premises that, you know, some guy might beat me, but the same guy's not going to continue to do it the same way.
So it brings up third down and 20. Rams at their own 26. Just as he let the ball go by Reggie White.
That's what they were worried about too, is Reggie White when he lines up on the nose. You see him, he's right here. Now when he lines up here, the tackles are here and here, so the center gets no help. And he just pushes the center right back into Everett's face. Look at how strong he is. He gets underneath Smith, just pushes, then goes around him, and he hits Everett just as he throws it.
Punt blocked. Will have it at the 40-yard line.
I think that was Izell Jenkins came in and blocked at the corner. You know, the thing about the Eagles is they use their regular players on special teams too. Izell Jenkins came from the right side of the screen, just came right across in front of English and blocked that punt.
So the Eagles take over at the Ram 40. The Rams got 14 yards out of the punt. And they were lucky to get that.
The Eagles are playing their kind of football now. Good defensive pass rush, special teams, get a block, get good field position, get turnovers, those types of things. That's Eagle football.
Tony and Byers behind Cunningham. Tony had a big first half. And he'll try it again quickly. He might have gotten to the line of scrimmage, but not much more. Perhaps a pickup of 1. Doug Reed.
See what Randall Cunningham did. Under 10 yards, he was 7 for 10. 3 for 6, 10 to 20. But you see, he was 1 for 2 between 20 and 30. And that's where he got his touchdown in there. And I think that he can do more work in that area, that, you know, more than 20 yards. That's where the Rams seem to be more vulnerable on the deep pass. They're playing the short stuff pretty well.
Robert Drummond in the Eagle backfield now. Second down and 9. Myers in motion. For Jackson. To about the 25, tripped up by Wilcher.
Keith Jackson was telling us last night, he said, I don't know how many mistakes that I'll make, but sometime if I ever make a mistake, I'm just going to run deep. And I think that's what he did here. You see Cunningham's going back, good pass protection. He looks, and you see Jackson just start running away. Of course, when you hold out for as long as he did, you can't run away from too many guys the first day back.
He is in surprisingly good shape, however. He's been working out in Oklahoma, both on sprints and on catching the ball. Tony right at the line of scrimmage and hurled backwards, no gain. Alvin Wright.
I think I would learn that one, Pat, that you can't run right at Alvin Wright. I mean, watch when he gets in there, you try and run at him, that's like a wall. Watch him, he's right over the center. Now you can run around him, you can run beside him, but you can't run right at him or over him. I mean, that's the end of the line.
I think the debate is over about that.
They've tried that and that little screen thing won't work against this defense.
2nd and 9, Byers and Tony. The two backs this time. Cunningham caught from behind by Kevin Green. But the guy who flushed him out of there was number 99, Alvin Wright.
Yeah, he got him flushed, and then Kevin Green with his athletic ability made that move. But watch, right over the center, 99, you see him, he does a club in the guard, he goes straight up the middle, then they get him flushed, and Kevin Green catches him from behind. That was Brian Smith and Alvin Wright. Boom, straight up the middle.
3rd down and 9 at the 25. Cunningham to Jackson. Inside the 10 to about the 8. Stopped by Stewart. 17-yard pickup and an Eagle first down.
These are the kind of patterns that Keith Jackson runs so well. Those same type of thing that the Rams are doing. Not the hooks and the stuff, but these slant patterns where he catches the ball running towards the goal line. See, he made a move on the defender there that's like a pass rush move. They call that a swim technique.
1st and goal from the 9. Well, you remember what a spectacular comeback Lawrence Taylor had after a holdout. And Jackson now more than respectable. That's Tony. Stopped by Mike Peel. Picked up 2.
Well, he was saying that he was just going to come back and forget everything, and he realizes that there's a difference between football and playing football and management. He was going to put the management stuff behind him and just start playing.
2nd and goal from the 6. Eagles leading 17-14. Fake to Tony. Cunningham's going to keep it. Fake again, and Cunningham gets down to about the 2.
Yeah, that's what he does so well, Pat. On that play, you called 3 fakes. He fakes the ball, which fakes the defense. Then after he gets it, see, that's the first fake. Now watch, come down here. He fakes like he's going to pass it. He breaks the fake right there, see? Then he does a 3rd fake of his movement by cutting inside. That was a triple fake.
3rd down at the 1. Tony and Heath Sherman now are the 2 running backs. Byers flanks wide to the right. And the Rams call a timeout.
Timeout. Los Angeles. Number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ram fans, we get all the way up to
John Robinson, a very concerned John Robinson at the moment, as the Eagles are at the door and they already lead. Pat Summerall, John Madden back at Anaheim Stadium. The Eagles have it 3rd and goal at the 1. Leading 17-14. The Rams just took a timeout.
Look, here's why they called timeout, Pat. They had the whole defense bunched here. You can't do that. You better have some over in here and some over in here, or they're going to get an easy touchdown. They had them all kind of bunched up right there in the middle and said, wait a minute.
3rd and goal at the 1. Tony is the lone running back. Cunningham in the corner. Intended for quick and out of bounds and incomplete. Now, here comes the field goal unit.
And they tried to get that same thing on Mickey Sutton out there, Mike Quick, and let him do the jump ball. They just threw it out of the end zone.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, Buddy Ryan likes to do fake kicks. So be alert.
field goal.
An 18-yard field goal attempt, it would appear, by Roger Ruzick. And good. And the Eagles increase their lead to 20-7, 20-14. 9:37 left to play, third quarter. 9:37 left to play, third quarter. The Eagles 20, the Rams 14. Ruzick to kick it off. Berry and Del Pino back deep for the Rams. High kick to Latin Berry. About 2 yards deep in the end zone. He started to stay in there and then decided to come out with it. A lot of work.
I think this is a big series, Pat, for the Rams. Not that they have to score a touchdown or even score, but I think they have to get some drive going here and start knitting some things together. Start keeping this Eagle defense on the field and not let them get the upper hand, because they are in the process of getting the upper hand.
Warner back in at tailback for the Rams now as they take over at their own 19. First and 10 from there.
Pass completion, Henry Allen.
Eric Allen made the stop. Pick up of 12.
You see that Andre Waters? You talk about a guy that'll hit you, about a guy that'll finish off a run. In fact, Henry Eller just pointed at him after he did that. If there's anything moving on the field in a different colored jersey, Andre Waters right there, number 20, is going to get it.
And he brings a pretty good load with him.
I tell you, he sure does. He knows how to torpedo in on that football.
First and 10 at the 31. This is Warner.
Ball carried by Warner.
Twist for about 4, stopped by Seth Joyner.
Seth Joyner made the stop.
This is where, you know, they like to get Reggie White in there against the run. Now they're going to get some movement. They're going to get Reggie blocked a little, but you don't keep him blocked. You see how he skates, always keeps his head up, always looking for the ball carrier. Don't let him get outside you. Don't let him have the cutback.
The Rams had said yesterday, if we see him in that alignment with White over the center, we're just not going to run. We're through it. They didn't get a change then. Everett. Incomplete. He again was chased out of the pocket and hit just as he let it go.
I tell you, I think that was the one that got him in the nose. I think that's what they said. They wanted to hit him in the nose a couple times, hit him in the face a couple times, and I don't know if they've gotten him before, but I think they got him in the face on this one. I think you're going to see it. Boom, right there. That was right up underneath the chin.
Got him in the sandwich. 3rd and 6 coming up now. Rams at their own 35. Whatever happened to Jim Everett, he shook it off. Big 3rd down. Holohan, his specialty. First down.
Yeah, Pete Holohan not only runs, he just kind of falls into patterns.
He does, doesn't he?
He's like, well, you know, how do you teach someone to do that? Just kind of trip down the field and then fall down, and I'll hit you for a first down.
Holohan has 2 catches for 14 yards. Another one that was called back. First down, Rams at their own 42. 7.5 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Del Pino split wide to the left this time. Here's Everett back to throw again. And Holohan couldn't hang on to this one. Incomplete. The home of the Rams, Anaheim Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Philadelphia leading the Rams 20-14 with 7:20 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Eagles winless on the year, need one. Rams came in 1-1. Second and 10 from the 42. To the 45 is Robert Del Pino. He alternates at fullback with Buford McGee. Big third down coming up here for the Rams. 3rd and 7. Cox this time comes wide to the right. Ellert and Anderson split to the other side. Pass is almost picked off by Ben Smith as Everett was hit by Jerome Brown just as he got rid of it.
That was the guy that gets the credit for that one, is Jerome Brown, because it's tough to throw the ball on timing just against any defense, but when you have 300+ pounds hanging on you and you're trying to throw it, that's impossible.
And he finally admits to 300. Almost blocked again. Hargrove fields the punt that is swung on by the Rams special teams. Frizzell had a chance to block that one, and he is upset because he was there. 20-14, the Eagles take over.
Here's William Frizzell. Now he's going to come in the block. Now he runs right past the punter. Usually the guy goes short. That time he passed the punter and he got it off.
So the Eagles take over at their own 20-yard line. Tony surges for a couple, maybe.
Yeah, this is a pretty good football game. I think that everyone thought because the Eagles lost last week to Phoenix that they were going to be down, and you know, Buddy's going to be fired and Keith Jackson's coming in, and they got all these problems. But sometimes you put a team in a corner like that and then you really find out how good they are, and I think that's what the Eagles are showing so far today.
2nd down and 8. Cunningham in the grasp and down. Wilcher was the first man there, number 54.
I think the Rams figured that they better start going after this Cunningham rather than letting him have all the time and playing those soft zones, that they better start putting a little more pressure on him or he is going to eat them up. And that's what they're starting to do now. They got that old sack attack woken up.
3rd and 16, back at the 14 now. Shotgun. They get it out to Tony, who has a blocker in front. And he won't get the first down. The flag is down. Penalty marker thrown.
Boy, there was action there in that sideline. There was a fumble. The ball was coming out. Flags were flying out. And the leather was flying. There was some hitting on that one. Those were some big collisions.
Rams are saying
illegal block on the offense. First down.
And they do come up with a football. Michael Stewart. There was an illegal block, I think, by Calvin Williams. But there was so much confusion and so many bodies, it's hard to tell what happened.
Well, watch, Tony has the ball, and he gets hit a helmet right on the ball. The Rams had 5 guys there, and that ball just went out of there. One of the guys was Anthony Newman, who's just getting up.
So the Rams get the turnover.
Hey, the Ram defense has finally gotten aggressive. They were playing a passive defense the first 3 quarters of this game, and now in this last series here, they have gone after an attack type of thing. They're rushing Cunningham more, but watch the convergence on the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all going after that thing.
Stewart made the big hit. Ellard's in motion. And Everett intended for Willie Anderson, he dropped it. Right now for an update, let's take you back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Well, Pat, at Candlestick, the 49ers have put a little daylight between themselves and Atlanta in a tight game. Joe Montana finds Jerry Rice crossing the field, wide open. You know who's going to win the foot race to the end zone. The Niners have gone up 12-3 in the third quarter. Let's go back to Pat and John.
With 5:09 left to play here in Anaheim, it's Philadelphia 20, the Rams 14. Two tight ends. The counterplay to Kurt Warner. He's going to be thrown for a loss by Jesse Small. It just took too long to develop.
And this has to be driving John Robinson crazy, because John Robinson is a running coach and a running back coach, and he likes his running backs to get their shoulders square and get that thing, boom, going upfield. Now watch what Kurt Warner does. It's that counter trap, the counter tray that everyone runs where you get in behind him. But see, he didn't have much running there, but he goes parallel too much. And the only thing that happens when those shoulders are perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, you're going to come up with a loss.
3rd and 15. Everett under pressure. This time from Clyde Simmons, Brown, and Reggie White. Now, with your field goal kicker hurt.
Well, when we talked to Robinson yesterday, he said that it's usually the 30-yard line. It's going to be the 25, but here he's at the 32, and he's bringing Mike Lansford out. Of course, those kickers have a way during the game of telling you I can do it.
Of course.
You know, there's something on Friday and Saturday to say, oh, I don't know, I got a little twinge, I got this. Then during the game, they got the adrenaline. That adds 15 yards, the adrenaline of the game.
This from 48 then. He had trouble last week after he got hurt. Not even close.
Maybe he shouldn't have listened to his adrenaline.
Maybe he shouldn't. Still 20-14 with 4 minutes to go in the third. All next Saturday here on CBS at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, the final weekend of this year's baseball season. And we'll bring you whatever the most important match is. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, the Cubs, Mets, San Diego, Cincinnati, Dodgers, Giants, Boston, or Toronto. Whatever means the most, you'll see it here on CBS. To Tony, left side behind his guard. Stopped by Kevin Green.
The Eagles have done a good job of blocking Kevin Green. So far, he only has like one tackle, but they always have a guy on him. You see, they got a tight end coming out, then you got a lead block and a guard and so on. That time, Mickey Schuler didn't get the job done.
2nd down, 7. The Eagles at their own 34, lead by 6. Cunningham back to throw it. Again, chased out of the pocket. Green in pursuit. Got a man open. Jackson.
That was a heck of a job by Cunningham, because Kevin Green came right into Ron Heller. Watch him, and he's going to knock Heller, number 73, right back into Cunningham. Cunningham had to get away from that thing, roll out to the left, and this is where he's really dangerous. Right now, when he gets in this position, now he can run or throw. The defense has to cover longer, and his receivers have more time to get open.
1st down, Eagles. The Rams 39. Less than 3 minutes left. As Tony rambles down to about the 32. Fred Strickland made the stop. 7-yard gain for Tony.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest surprises to me in this game, is one, how well the Eagles are running, and two, how poorly the Rams are running. And if there's any difference in this game that we're watching, I think that's a part of the difference.
2nd and 3 at the 32. Just over 2 minutes left, third quarter. Byers goes in motion. Tony again. Over the left side, and an Eagles 1st down. Doug Reed made the stop, but Tony got 5.
And they're pounding over there in that left side behind Chad, Ron Heller. Look at him. He's rushed for 90 yards already. Caught passes for 49, 139. We're still in the third quarter. That's a pretty good day's work.
Tony gets a rest. Heath Sherman has taken his place. Myers and look, this is Sherman. To about the 25. 2-yard pickup, stopped by Wilcher.
I had the feeling last night when the Eagles came into town that you know, for an 0-2 team, they had almost the confidence of a 2-0 team, didn't they?
No doubt. Buddy Ryan still upset about that playoff last year to the Rams. Showed him that tape on the plane on the way out here. Don't forget this.
The player said he made us watch it.
They gained 100 more yards on the ground than the Rams. Cunningham. Becky Schuler with a one-handed catch. Juggled down to about the 12. Stopped by Strickland.
That was a heck of a catch. That was a one-handed catch there. But this is one of those timing things. He's just going to put up his left hand and catch it. He comes right up the middle. He's running a short in pattern there. Look at that. He knocks the ball up in the air and then catches it again. That keeps his record intact. 88 straight games he's caught a pass.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Philadelphia 20, the Rams 14. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. There's one of the big keys to the reason the Eagles are leading and trying to get more.
The other thing I think it does is right there, Pat. It lets that defense rest. It lets them sit over there and get ice and oxygen and stuff and keeps them fresh.
First down. Cunningham fakes. Fires. A flag on the play, I believe. Pass was caught by Calvin Williams. Mickey Sutton was the defender.
I'll tell you, he zoomed that one in. That looked like one of Dave Stewart's fastballs. When he came back there and came over the top on that one, the way a pitcher throws a fastball.